Grab your Red's Apple Ale, your Universal VIP front-of-the-line pass, a big old Subway sandwich, and turn on your Xfinity TV. We just saw Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no. So you know what that means.
How did Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly? Rock a rhinestone vest while ripping Justin to Kelly. Or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June. Gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam. Just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line. Cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice. Cause a bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? I am your host, Paul Scheer, joined as always by Jason Mantzoukas. How are you, Jason?
Hey-oh! Sharknado 3!
Sadly, June is not here to continue the trilogy this week. Shooting schedules have dictated that would not work out. But
people are furious.
Furious to hear.
People are furious. They're like, I pay good money for this podcast.
Everyone wants to hear June's thoughts on Nova and everything there.
I'm sure.
We'll do our best to try to accommodate.
Guys, Nova is back.
But we are joined by a man who has not only braved the first two Sharknadoes, but a Tyler Perry movie that we never actually did. Please welcome Scott Aukerman.
You did it to me again, guys. You told me to go watch Medea's Tough Love.
We just feel like that's the only way you can appreciate Sharknado is to watch a Tyler Perry movie before it.
Yeah, She gets sucked into the remote control. She presses the button on the remote control that says "Do not press." You know that button that's on every remote control.
I would love a Medea Sandler Click crossover.
Yep.
Like
Tough Love Click.
Tough Love Click.
But it would be Click CLIQUE.
Yep.
The Tough Love Click.
Yeah.
Or
Sandler and Perry.
Back in action.
How about if a Tough Love clip and it's actually clippy, so you can draw them from the pixels thing.
From the Microsoft thing?
So it's a computer thing, so
wow,
clippy.
So you get
I would love
pixels
that.
in there.
Yeah, I love it.
Pixels, that'll be next week, right?
People do not like that movie.
People are not into pixels.
If you combine the hatred of Pixels and True Detective Season 2 together, the internet would explode.
Which is interesting because True Detective 2 is made of little pixels.
It is true.
It's little dots, like pointillism. Sarot.
yeah.
Sarot.
Yep.
Sarot.
Sarot.
I got Sarot throat today.
Oh, man.
So IMDb describes Sharknado as simply this. A monstrous tornado unleashes ravenous sharks from Washington, D.C. all the way down to Orlando, Florida, period. That's it. That's
the end.
As much as this, that doesn't...
If only it took that little amount of time to watch.
I did find that this one flew by faster than the other two.
It flew by as fast as a great white shark in the middle of the sky.
I wanted to start off by simply asking you guys, what did you guys think of the love stories? I really thought that this one really took some chances.
Well, this movie is, the third in the franchise, and the first two are just such consummate action movies that this one really flexes its relationship, love, romantic
Well, we
muscles.
already care about the characters.
Oh, yeah.
So why would we want to watch number 3 unless we wanted to see this deepening of the love stories?
Well, I mean, we obviously see, Finn and April just...
His name is Finn, by the way. I still marvel at it.
Oh, yeah.
Like a shark fin.
Yep.
Finn Shepard, the great Finn Shepard.
They call him Finley a lot.
Yes.
As if to justify it.
That was the thing that kind of bummed me out at the beginning of the movie. He is running to get a presidential medal.
Well, he's running to the White House.
He's just running on empty D.C. streets.
Yeah,
yes.
And they're saying the president needs him. The president needs him. And he gets into an SUV that drives him about a block.
Well, drives him to a Hollywood backlot for just a brief moment.
Yeah.
And then he runs back. He gets out because they're in traffic, and then he runs back past the Washington Monument.
I know nothing about geography in D.C., but I know that is 100% wrong.
North is up, by the way. South is down.
Okay, all right. That is good to know.
He also runs like he's doing a high knees drill. like when I was on track, you would do high knees where you try and get your knees up as high as possible. That's how he runs. He runs like his running style is very intense and weird.
Yeah. He also runs, I don't know if you saw this, but he runs into... He tries to run by the security. He tries to run by the Secret Service, and they stop him, understandably.
Yeah.
And then Bill Engvall, is that his name? The comedian is playing the White House chief of staff.
Yeah.
Sees him being detained and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm sorry about this, man." And then he like chastises the Secret Service for daring to stop Finn. That's their fucking job.
Yes, to stop people from running into the White House.
It does bring me to a point that I have with the film. Because I
don't have any points with
I have
this.
no points. Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the movie and I thought it was great. And I had no logic
I'm just
issues.
kidding. I have 10,000 points.
I have no logic issues except for this one thing.
10,000 points of light.
Yep.
So, arguably, Finn has been at the forefront of two major attacks,
They're not
Sharknadoes.
attacks necessarily. They're acts of God.
Acts of God. So you would imagine people know him by name.
I mean, think about
The Shark
what
God.
Al-Qaeda or ISIS could do if they could control a
They could
Sharknado.
harness a Sharknado.
Don't say that kind of stuff out loud. That's going to.
You're like one of those Hollywood screenwriters who have been hired to devise 9/11 plans.
Oh my God. But think about it. What if it fell into their hands?
I started to begin to believe that are there any more sharks left in the ocean after these?
That's what I wondered.
three
Did you
movies?
notice when he's running up to the White House, which by the way we forgot to mention, he's running there as if he's needed.
Yes.
And when he gets there, he's merely accepting the Presidential Medal of Honor.
Yes,
So
which,
he's like slightly late for it.
But
But when he gets there, he's running past protesters, and the protesters are holding up signs because the president wants to save the sharks.
Yes.
Apparently, these are anti-shark. They're in the anti-shark movement who wants to kill all the sharks in the ocean before they can be turned into Sharknadoes.
Yes, because this movie.
Did you not notice that, Jason?
I didn't catch
Yes.
that.
Okay,
Was
and it's so barely in there.
But he does say it to him.
The president says it later. The president, Finn says when the
You
president
mean
is
President Mark Cuban?
Who is
Mark on
Cuban.
Shark Tank?
He is literally playing Mark Cuban.
No,
'cause
he's not.
He said, "I used to be a shark."
No. He says they used to call me a shark.
Yeah,
I think that's like
it's a
little
wink.
Yeah, it's a
According
little
to the IMDb, he is just listed as president of the United States. They never
say his name.
Mark Cuban.
I bet that's why he signed on.
President Mark Cuban says, Finn says to him, "Wait a minute, I thought you wanted to save the sharks."
Yes.
And he says, "Well, yeah, I do, but not these ones." And he starts killing them.
And he's very good.
So it's a subplot in the movie. This
Yes.
is like some kind of new world where, since the events of Sharknado 2, people are rising up saying, "Kill all sharks."
Well, now, it seems to me like you didn't read the fan fiction in between. There's been a lot, like the Animatrix. There
have been, really?
multiple films.
I know there's Sharknado meets Archie, the comic book.
Oh, yeah, that is, which people said we should talk about, too. Sorry, I did not have time for that.
Had time to watch all of Sharknado. Did not have time to read one comic book.
the one thing I was going to say, though, the issue that I have, bringing me back to this thing about Finn, is he is a hero, right?
Yeah.
Constantly not recognized by anyone. You would argue one of the most...
Not recognized and also talked about as if he's the most famous man on earth.
Yes.
Everybody knows who he is.
People
but
are constantly
nobody knows-
asking his daughter, what's it like to be the daughter of a famous person?
Yes, and at one point they're pulling into like a base, and he's like, "I'm Finn Shepard," and like, yeah, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
But he's the
Why
guy.
would you know that? We know who everybody. Like,
I don't know. Here, I quibble on that because do you know the face of the guy who killed Bin Laden?
Well,
but
purposefully no.
That's
Purposefully no, because the Navy SEALs. But this guy's on TV all the time.
But didn't that guy do a tell-all book? And I watched like the interview, and I couldn't pick him out of a crowd.
I feel like Sharknadoes are more important than Bin Laden in the grand scheme of things.
They are the Bin Ladens of weather.
Exactly. Yes. I mean,
What if Bin Laden could have gotten his hands on a Sharknado?
That's what I wonder. Is he the guy behind all this?
Now,
was he the guy in the boat in the first one?
Sharknado 4 could be a real anti-terrorism kind of movie.
It really could.
If you would, once again, sci-fi, let us write this movie.
No one has come to us, and as a matter of fact, the biggest slap in the face that this movie did was they put a German podcasting duo who does a podcast about bad movies.
No.
In the movie.
Oh, and not you guys.
That is a real fuck you to us.
All
and
of us.
they put Heidi and Frank in there.
Heidi and Frank, not
you
Frosty.
Guys. Not Frosty.
But
wow.
They are the front two guys on the roller coaster who are clearly German because they don't speak any English. You'll watch, if you ever watch it again, it's
nope.
How dare you? How dare you
How dare you, Sharknado?
Thunder Levin, you son of a bitch.
You've got three of the most consummate professional podcasters here doing nothing
with our time,
celebrating this movie, and also doing nothing with our time.
We have so much time on our hands.
Guys,
we can throw this together.
We were sent a box, a literal box of David Hasselhoff bobbleheads because they appreciate us. Sci-fi appreciates us.
Sci-fi does.
But Anthony C. Ferrante, not so much.
Different story, Ferrante.
You know, Ferrante, you know what he loves? German podcasters.
Who is that cameo for, the German podcast?
Well, that's the thing. I kept being like, I bet that's a cameo. Don't know who that is.
I do want to talk about the cameos. Can we talk about the cameos? Because there are so many of them. I went on the Sharknado 3 Wikipedia page today and just saw the list.
Yeah,
the movie is just bogged down by anytime there is a person who delivers a plate of food, or there's constantly people introducing other people or introducing people who are going to introduce people. They're just trying to pack as many people in there that this movie just like is so slowed down by it, because every single person who puts a plate of food on the table has to have a big line and they hang on their face for a long time to go, oh, that's Holly Madison.
Well, I will tell you another thing about this movie. I believe, and I have no verification on this, but when we get to the space shuttle, spoiler alert, at the end, there are people who won a contest.
This whole thing should be called spoiler alert. We're talking about everything.
The people that are in the space shuttle with Hasselhoff, I believe, won a contest of some kind.
I think they did. Yeah, you're right.
They are so stilted and oddly in there. I was like, they don't look like actors, and they have an oddly big part. I feel like they won a contest.
Yeah. The people on the ground running around like, you know, sharks have been falling on them. I feel like they're contest winners or relatives or something, because they get so much screen time. The camera's just hanging on their face.
And what? We can't win a contest?
Come on.
I'm just saying, guys, let us win a contest.
We would work for scale. Let me just read you the list of everyone in this movie that is a cameo. It would be David Hasselhoff, Bo Derek, Mark Cuban, Ann Coulter, Michelle Bachmann. Jerry Springer.
They're putting Coulter and Bachmann in this movie.
Crazy. Jerry Springer, Chris Kirkpatrick, Chris Jericho, Holly Madison.
I didn't see Jerry Springer by the way. There's a few people.
He gets eaten by the shark that's hanging in the park. And
is that him?
Yeah,
take a picture of me. Take a picture of me.
Which I have a question about, because that shark is in the position of the fake Jaws shark at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
So does that mean
and we've seen it earlier in the piece as well.
How did it get hung up there?
Did it come? Has it been playing dead the entire time?
No, I think.
Or did it come to life?
Here's what I would imagine: that fake shark was there. The real shark came down and got lodged on the thing, knocking the fake shark off.
Got it.
And it's in the exact same position.
Got it.
Okay, makes sense. That adds up.
Yep.
Chris Kirkpatrick, Chris Jericho, Holly Madison, Kendra Wilkinson, Anthony Weiner.
Anthony Weiner is in there twice.
This is sad.
He's in there in the beginning and at the end.
I gotta say, Anthony Weiner, like, is that?
Come on,
is that what his life is amounting to now?
Apparently, like what
Carlos Danger.
He is a disaster. Oh, I hope he's credited as Carlos Danger.
I hope he got laid off of this movie. He probably.
But you know what I mean? Like, everyone used to respect him, and
he was like a legit up and coming.
But he doesn't have to be
Democrat.
like, he doesn't have to go through all of that and then just turn to Sharknado.
No, Sharknado.
No.
But
you know?
Michelle Bachmann. Come on.
See, Michelle Bachmann, I get it.
Kathy
She's
Lee
looking
Gifford.
for any kind of foothold into being a person.
Kathy Lee Gifford, Hoda Cobb, Ray J, Frankie Muniz, Robert Klein, Michael Bolton, Michael Winslow.
Who's Michael Bolton?
Yeah, where was Bolton?
He's credited as Steve. I don't know.
Oh, Steve.
Rick Fox, Cindy Margolis, Penn and Teller.
Which, by the way, what does Teller get in? Like, what does he get out of being
Also, Penn lost a lot of weight.
Penn lost a lot of weight.
He looks good. Fat, skinny guy weight, though. It doesn't look quite right yet.
But you know what I mean? Like, Teller
me
talks. He's like a real man.
Oh, yeah.
He's a human being.
Oh, wait, he's a human being?
Yeah.
I thought he was a ventriloquist dummy that Penn is operating.
But you know, like, what does he get out of showing up and sitting next to Penn?
Well, he's got, I'm sure that Sharknado money.
And all he does is, like, shake his head.
I know.
Like, he's a funny guy. guy. Like, let him talk. He's not Teller in this. He's playing Colonel whatever
you're
in
totally
the
right.
army.
Colonel
let the guy
Stylo.
talk.
Colonel Stylo.
Colonel Stylo, let him talk.
Then there's Lou Ferrigno, Jackie Collins, Savannah Guthrie, Matt Lauer, Natalie Morales, Benji Bronk again.
What is Natalie Morales in that?
I thought it was Maria Menounos, but
Maria Menounos is in this.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I
Who's
don't know.
Natalie
racist?
Morales?
Is she
She
part of the
was-
Today Show? I guess. She's in that panel.
Okay,
She's probably a part of that panel.
I don't know
I'm
who
thinking
she is to
I'm thinking
begin
of someone
with.
else. Okay.
Benji
Now
Bronk.
I'm the racist.
Benji Bronk, who reprises his role as the end is near guy, and then Al Roker. That's a lot of cameos, and Maria Menounos has a death that I thought you would appreciate. She kind of gets eaten out by a shark.
Oh yeah. No, that shark, she is enjoying it. Because
There
that
are
shark,
ways to get eaten by a shark, and there are ways to get eaten by a shark.
sometimes when you get eaten by a shark, you get wet.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
The other thing about this movie that is interesting to bring up is,
And plus, I just want to remind
by the way,
everybody,
there are other people you
like
didn't
Mark
mention.
McGrath.
Oh, yes.
There are people who are
There's
back.
Reza from the Shahs of Sunset, who's a comedy
There's
Bang Bang
the
person.
woman who is
Tim Russ from Star Trek.
the woman who's a real housewife.
Yeah, she has a big part.
She has a very big part, but I feel like
She also got one of my only laughs.
Oh, really? Which was?
You can't take those cars. You can't take those cars. I'm going to get fired.
In a movie full of shilling shit, she shills the most shit in this movie. She talks about NASCAR. She talks about the benefits of Universal Studios VIP pass.
Front of the line passes. She basically
She's hawking those.
Does
Yeah.
a full commercial for front of the line passes, explaining how they work.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you do and the benefits of using one.
Do you
Yes.
think, by the way, that front of the line passes are going to get to be such a common thing that you will then need front of the front of the line
Oh,
passes?
See, like VIP front of the line passes.
You know what I mean? And how do we get those?
Yeah.
We need them. We really do.
Well, I feel
if
like
anyone needs them, we need them.
I signed up for that TSA pre-check
Oh, yeah.
at
Oh, I
the
did that.
airport because I was like, oh, this seems
I'm
like a
about
good
to do
deal.
that, yeah.
And now so many people have done it that twice I've been to the airport and that line has been
It's
longer
Yeah.
than the regular line. And I'm like, what is the point?
Yeah.
Come on, everybody.
Doesn't make sense. Also, Chad Ochocinco is in this movie. George R.R. Martin.
Oh,
is
George
in
that's
R.R.
this
right.
Martin,
Yes.
that's crazy. I saw that guy and I was like, that's a weird George R.R. Martin looking guy.
and it's
Jared
him.
Fogle
It's him.
cut out of the movie. Subway spokesman.
but why?
Well,
yeah,
why-
why, what's
Paul?
going on, Paul?
Apparently, he didn't like his performance.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Oh, he had Final Cut?
He had the ability to say no.
Was anyone else upset that Michael Winslow, the voice master from Police Academy, didn't do enough sound effects?
Yeah, he basically went like,
Yeah, he did.
Wait,
Yeah,
when,
that was-
I didn't. When
Oh,
was this?
He was the guy leading them to the space shuttle.
is he
Like,
playing the guy from Lava Tarantula? Or
Oh, you know, there
because
is-
because he and Steve Guttenberg are both in this, and I think it's a crossover because
Wait,
it's definitely
Guttenberg is in this?
It's a
Yes.
shared universe.
Yes, it
with
is a
Lava
shared-
Tarantula.
Yes.
which is another thing we should have watched, but we didn't.
No,
watch.
he
This is the first
Sharknado-
I'm hearing of all of this.
Okay.
So 2 days later, they aired Lava Tarantula.
Yes.
Which is
Steve Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg and
Vehicle.
the cast of the Police Academy
Right.
films.
Tackleberry?
Wait,
I
really?
think they're all in it.
Is Tackleberry
Holy
in it?
shit! I didn't know
Probably.
this.
He basically, they
I'll
asked
look
him
at it
who
right
else he wanted to be in the film. He said, well, why don't we get everyone from Police
That's
Academy?
amazing. Is
So
Bobcat in
Winslow's
it?
Yeah, no.
Wait, I'm looking right now. This is amazing.
So there's this other movie, and they showed a trailer for it during
Yeah.
Sharknado, and Ian Ziering runs through it, and they say, hey, help us with this lava tarantula. And he says, I have a shark problem on my hands. I can't do it. So it's a shared universe. It's like
that's-
Marvel.
yeah, I get
It
it.
is a shared universe, but listen to this. Michael Winslow in Sharknado plays Brian
He plays a different guy because he gets
Jonesy
killed,
Jones, right? And then Lava
Oh, that's
Lantula.
Michael
Lava
Winslow.
Lantula. Is that
He
how it
plays
is? Lava Lantula?
Lava Lantula, he plays Marty.
Lava Lantula doesn't make sense. Lava Tarantula.
I like Lava Tarantula too.
It at least makes sense. But it's not as bad as Sharknado, which is what I thought the first one was for a long time. Hey, Sharknado, get over here.
My
Son of a
my
bitch.
favorite cameo was Jackie Collins, who introduces herself
As
to
Jackie
Finn.
Collins.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Jackie Collins.
Yep.
And I'm still a thing.
Who is this cameo appealing
Who's
to?
it for? That's
Who
my point.
is it for?
None of
This
these
is
cameos are
basically
interesting.
The Love Boat.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like Jackie Collins was a Love Boat guest.
But
you know?
here's the thing. some of these people are like, okay, wow, oh, cool. That's even Michelle Bachmann. I go, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But Jackie Collins, no one cares, Collins.
Jackie Collins, no Jackie Collins fans are tuning into Sharknado.
And they give her so much time.
Sharknado.
It's more fun to say.
It is. I like
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Yeah, what are you, some kind of Sharknado?
Hey, Sharknado, you a rat? Are you a rat, Sharknado? Yeah, but no one's tuning in for her. So like, let's get and the Kendra Wilkinsons of the world, and let's separate the wheat from the chaff.
Does it? I mean, like, shouldn't there be at least 3 Pussycat Dolls in this movie?
I feel like this is like an open cast,
an open casket. Yeah, it is. I feel like it is.
It's very much so.
I feel like they just gave out this address on Twitter and said, if you show up, we'll put you in the movie. Yeah,
except to us.
Exactly. We're the only people not getting the invite for this,
guys. All of us are on successful TV shows that would bring some level.
Well, you're giving me a little too much credit.
All right, so a lot of cameos.
I could spend 2 hours talking just about Tara Reid.
Oh, well.
We have to talk about it.
Yeah, any way you want to go.
Yeah, Tara Reid. Okay,
we can go chronologically too. I'm happy.
I have a lot of different points.
All of her stuff with Bo Derek is straight up bananas.
The first scene, okay, Finn goes running in and he's accepting the Presidential Medal of Honor, right? Cut to Tara Reid and Bo Derek wandering around Universal Studios Orlando.
Where they are for the entire movie.
Yes.
And Bo Derek says, hey, where's your husband?
Yes.
And is treating it like the husband's a real shifty
shithead.
SOB.
For not being at Universal Studios
he is
Orlando.
Arguably America's single greatest hero. And she is
receiving America's highest honor.
And Tara Reid is the asshole in this scenario.
Yes, she's pregnant and maybe shouldn't hop on a plane.
But her baby belly
But what is she doing at Universal Studios if she's pregnant?
Well, never mind going into space, which she does.
Yeah.
She goes into space while pregnant. And then re-enters the Earth's atmosphere in a shark's stomach. And that is irresponsible parenting.
Irresponsible.
Oh, my God.
Which leads me to my belief at the end that she should be killed.
Can I just, as we talk about this, I want to play Finn receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom and being inducted into the Order of the Golden Chainsaw. Take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, for his heroic actions in both
Mark Cuban.
New York and Los Angeles, for saving countless lives and alerting the world to a new, terrifying threat, it is my great honor to present the country's highest civilian commendation, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, to Finley Allen Shepard.
Beautiful moment.
Oh, amazing.
By way of a thank you from the people of the city of New York,
I can't stop my leg.
I want to present you with this. You are the very first member of the Order of the Golden Chainsaw.
Oh, really? That hasn't been created before?
And
it's a working
chainsaw. You can't be the first member of an order. There has to be at least 2 people.
And he gets it, and it's a tiny little chainsaw.
It's a pretty tiny, but it's supposed to look like
gold?
A trophy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like a trophy, and it looks like a gold trophy, and they go, Golden Order of the Chainsaws. That's funny. And
then
it's
a shark attack happens.
A shark attack, and it's a working chainsaw.
And again,
which is funny. I think that's an intentionally funny thing.
The sharks are attacking Finn wherever he is to a degree that makes me believe that this is like Jaws 4 and the sharks know it's him.
Well, they bring it up in the thing because it's sort of a John McClane situation where people should be running away from him on Christmas Day anytime they see him.
But again, here's a radio show guys blaming Finn. Just hear this and play this real quick.
This is the Heidi and Frank show, and we are covering the destruction and mayhem. It is Washington, D.C. right now. The Sharknado has pretty much destroyed everything in sight.
Traffic continues to be at a standstill on I-95. You might want to try Route 17.
I don't blame the sharks on this destruction. I blame one Finn Shepard. It seems like everywhere he goes, destruction follows. Do not think it's a weather anomaly. I think he has a plan, and wherever he goes, he destroys.
Nobody survives yet. Finn Shepard and his family seem to always survive just fine. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, I love this conspiracy theory.
So either he has like a shark magnet, or he's causing
what's his intent?
Movie, but okay, the first movie made sense. To a degree, to a degree that they were somehow corralling sharks, and then a tornado lifted these sharks.
Yeah.
Now it just seems like whenever a weather system goes on, sharks are flying out of the water,
and not all the kelp and other fish. It's just
I was
going to
say no other fish.
No other fish.
And
how are there so many sharks next to Washington D.C.?
I would like to make whalacane. It's a hurricane full of whales.
Well, Frankie Muniz does coin the term sharkicane.
Oh, he does. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense anymore in terms of like the conditions of what. But I will say,
It seems like whenever a storm is about to hit, it's ripe for sharks to fly.
Also, sharks at this point now can just straight up live outside of water.
Yeah.
Oh, they live in space.
You know what I mean? They live in space.
They're
which
making
is
a case.
Space.
I actually think they're making a case for this as like an environmental film. Like the world is, the weather is going so crazy now.
Interesting.
Because of global warming or something, that Sharknadoes are now not
Michelle
only possible.
Bachman would never be in that movie if that was the case.
I don't think she read it that closely.
I don't think she can read.
But they're not only possible, but they're probable. They say that anywhere on the eastern seaboard, they can happen now.
Well, what's going on?
And they're happening everywhere. They're happening in Charleston. They're happening...
Charleston is completely wiped out.
Decimated.
Charleston is completely wiped out, and people in Disney, in rather Universal Orlando...
Don't you dare say Disney.
...are having the best time.
Yeah.
Like, they are
and there is a shark that goes down one of the water slides, and the
park
is
fine.
not evacuated.
And Bo Derek is nonplussed.
These sharks love to have some fun, like that one that was on the roller coaster for just basically just going up and down a roller coaster for a while.
Having
the
a great
loop-de-loop,
time.
it was fun.
Having a great time.
I have to say about this film, we sometimes we get flack for talking about these films.
Sure.
Because they say
Who? By who?
They say you're making fun of something that is tongue in cheek.
Yes.
But no, I feel like the first one was so shittily made that
they didn't expect it to be.
They didn't expect it to be, but it was full of plot holes. It was shot poorly. It was fun to make fun of that. The second one. And the first one, it was fun to make fun of the plot because it just didn't make any sense.
Because it was silly.
The second one, we were making fun of the parts that are shittily made.
Sure.
This one, I have to say, it's kind of well made, technically.
They definitely have more money,
Yep.
and they're going for it. But I think my issue with it is what they think they're doing versus what they're actually doing.
No, we've always talked about that.
Yeah.
And they think the cameos are people going, yes, every single time someone's on screen. No, it's slowing down your movie.
Totally.
And it's not like, it's not even making a good bad movie. Like if you go like
There's
movie,
some good bad parts.
There are some like there. I mean, I think like the Golden Chainsaw
That's fun.
is fun. And
I don't want to make fun of the Golden Chainsaw because when I laughed when he's revved it up and he's killing sharks with a golden chainsaw. That's intentional.
When it turned into a lightsaber at the end,
I laughed.
I love that.
Laser chainsaw.
Laser chainsaw.
When Nova came back, I was legit psyched.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot
was legit
about her.
psyched because
she was a badass.
Because I enjoy the continuity of reintroducing this character, and she wasn't in the second movie. I like that she's here. And B, she's ridiculous. She can inexplicably fly like fighter jets.
Yes.
Because
she did 100 hours of, and they're supersonic fighter jets.
She was a waitress at like a Jimmy Buffett's, a low rent
like
Jimmy
at
Buffett
a Bubba
place.
Gump shrimp company, and can fly an F-18. She's driving around with Frankie Muniz,
who has a post-traumatic shark disorder.
Yes.
Which I want to use all the time.
Yeah, that should now take the place of PTSD.
Because PTSD doesn't stand for like post-traumatic like
stress disorder.
But it's not like shooting disorder or a war disorder. It's like you don't name it after.
Yeah.
It would still be PTSD.
He still has a stress disorder. It's just caused by sharks.
Yeah.
The scene where Frankie Muniz, when they take off and he's trying to get back to the shark Winnebago, and he has every single one of his limbs broken off,
eaten off.
I was
laughing
my head
hard.
off about that.
And then he finally, with his chin, presses what I can only assume is a self-destruct button for the Winnebago that is on the roof of it.
Which makes no sense.
What on earth
Put it inside the Winnebago.
Why is it on the roof of the Winnebago?
It was easier to shoot.
Anybody
and sharks
has access to that.
Yeah, and the sharks can eat you.
Yes.
Which is exactly what they do.
Yep.
While he's trying to press it.
I do think, by the way,
the van blows up, by the way, and Nova's like, I have to go help him.
Yeah.
What?
Nova's banging on the
exploded. There is no him.
I want to talk about Frankie Muniz hasn't acted in a while. I always thought that
He's
was
a race car driver now, right?
That's his whole thing.
I thought he was okay.
There was one moment that was because you can tell some of the cameos are very, very stiff. I didn't think Mark Cuban was awful.
I just wrote a note on here that says Mark Cuban is truly a shitty actor. I had no joke. I just was writing this down as I was watching it. Just
maybe I like him on Shark Tank.
I would not put it past Mark Cuban to call you after this episode comes out and be like, "Hey, man." Not cool.
I'm doing my best. I did know somebody told me one time at Sony that the people from Shark Tank are very adamant that they need to be acting in shows, and they're like,
"Wow,
whoever at Sony, I guess, owns
as
Shark Tank."
Themselves or
no, as actors. They're like, I need to be on sitcoms. So I remember there was one thing that I was working on there, and they were like, "What do you think about Mr. Wonderful?"
Mr. Warmth? Is that his name?
No, Mr. Warmth.
Warmth is a different guy.
Rickles.
Oh, right.
Mr. Wonderful is the bald guy.
Right, yeah.
And it's like he wants to be an actor.
Well, that is kind of what I'm saying. Wait
a minute, so do we.
Exactly.
Why are we coming down on them?
We're hosts of a show that want to act? Impossible. Improbable.
Those jerks.
We've not spent a majority of our lives being corporate CEOs.
Yes.
All of us have been on the performance stage.
In days past,
Days of Future Past?
Days of Future. They should be in Days of Future Past. Okay. Cast of Shark Tank, cast them as the X-Men.
I would.
Do you think Cyclops, when he got circumcised, got the rogue cut?
Oh, boy.
I just want to talk about the one thing that Frankie Muniz does. If you have not watched it, I think it's worthy of watching it. When there's a bridge that's out in the middle of the movie, he acts to this bridge, and I only wrote down like Michael Jackson in the music video Thriller. His hands are kind of jutting
Paul, by the way, is doing the strangest gestures with his fingers.
It's almost like
I know. We got to get a picture of this. Get a pic of this.
Finger action.
A lot of finger. Get a GIF of this.
Yeah.
This deserves a GIF.
And I was like, that was the only time I was like, that's an odd choice. He was just kind of like Michael Jackson in Thriller, just kind of creeping forward.
Yeah, you're doing the dance, the werewolf dance.
The werewolf dance. That's what I felt. Okay. Yes, thank you.
I was trying to remember the Michael Jackson Thriller video of him pointing at something. I couldn't.
Bridge is out.
Well, what I want to say though is the film is pretty well made for what it is.
Yes.
Sure.
So there are still actors that are really bad in it.
Oh yeah,
and you have to look at Tara Reid for that. She is the absolute worst actor in this
stuff, man.
I do not blame them for wanting to take it to the fans of whether she should be killed or not. I mean, the one of her first lines, she's on the phone with Ian Ziering, and Ian's doing a good job.
I like him in these movies.
He is very aware of what he's doing,
and he's acting the shit out of it.
Yeah,
the same with David Hasselhoff. He's acting the shit out of this. He then is having this phone conversation with Tara Reid, and she's saying, "Well, when are you gonna get here? When are you getting to Orlando, Universal Studios?" And he's on his way. Planes have been grounded, and he says, "As long as it's healthy and I'm there when it's born, that's all I care about." And she goes, "Okay." That was the weirdest line reading I've ever.
There were so many scenes of phone calls that the two people on either side are clearly have nothing going on with each other.
No relationship.
And scenes in which people are talking to each other, but they clearly didn't shoot them on the same day. Mm-hmm. So people are just delivering lines, and then it's a reverse on somebody some other day saying lines. Like the Robert Klein lines are like that.
The energy is not making any sense.
The energy doesn't add up. They clearly don't occupy the same space. It's crazy.
Well, my question is why is she so against it? Because it's only proven to be a commercial hit continually. And
is she against it? Is that she doesn't want to be in it, or she's contractually obliged to be there?
I think that she just. I get the feeling she doesn't want to be there. She's
interesting.
She's sleepwalking through it.
She's not trying.
When they're up in space, David Hasselhoff, they put on all their helmets, and there's these special lights on their faces. They're emoting, and then it cuts to Tara Reid, and she just has this blank look on her face, like she doesn't know a camera is there.
And by the way, Tara Reid's mask never opens for some odd reason. The glass goes down in both of their shields.
He goes visors up.
Well, first. Yeah,
or whatever it's called.
Well, first he goes helmets on.
Yeah,
which is a big moment.
Yeah.
And then he goes visors down. You don't have to extend that moment. Yeah. Just helmets on is enough. We don't need visors down.
And they are wearing. If I could describe that, they are wearing Halloween costume level.
They're like Apollo 13 Halloween
outfits.
costumes.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like little plastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look like children's Halloween costumes. They look terrible. It's awful.
And NASA...
Oh, NASA.
Terrible.
Yeah, NASA was like really... Look, they're trying. They're stretching a dollar.
They're trying, but most of it looks pretty good.
When you got to pay Jackie Collins top a show, that's a showbiz term.
She's number one on the call
You got to
sheet.
get her in there. I would pay money to see a non-effects version of this movie. Just no effects in it at all. I think that would just be...
it would be amazing.
Because I really feel like there is very little going on.
That's like Garfield without Garfield.
Yes.
Like what if you saw Sharknado without any sharks, without anything? You just watched people reacting
like the Big
to
Bang
nothing.
Theory with no laugh track.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, watch it. It's really funny.
Oh, that's great.
Just people sitting and staring at each other for long periods of time.
Saying a corny joke and then sitting in silence.
Staring at each other.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, she is truly awful, and I pray she does not return. Although it's fun to make fun of her. I feel like by 4 there's going to be nothing to make fun. I wonder if
4. I mean, like this.
I enjoyed this one the most. Like,
same.
100%.
This one made the most sense.
Yes, and I enjoyed.
But let's just like examine that. You just said this one makes the most sense, and we were like, yes.
Yeah, and they're going in space.
Keep in mind, this movie
they're fighting sharks with a chainsaw.
No sense.
But
lightsaber.
it's kind of going on the Mission Impossible trajectory of sequels, where like the first one was okay, the second one, and then all of a sudden like the J.J. Abrams, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Oh, that's not bad. And then by 4, it's going to be one of the best movies you see that year.
Exactly, Rogue Nation. Come on, forget about it. This is how they let the audience know about April. Here we go.
Now's your chance to be part of Sharknado history. You decide if April lives or April dies by tweeting your choice now or by going to sharknado.sci-fi.com to vote. Her fate will be revealed in Sharknado 4 because we're not done yet.
There's no possible way she survives.
No one wants her. What would you vote? I would vote no. April
vote
dies.
die. Yeah, of course. Although just to fuck with them, I almost would like.
Keep her in?
I almost would like to keep her in just to make them go, God damn it, the results.
Because
gotta
Nova,
work with fucking Tara.
But that's why they brought Nova in, because Nova brings
Nova's
up boom.
Boom. She's in there, and you're like, well.
And she brings a little sex appeal.
Yeah.
Like when they fall out of the sky.
This is amazing. I want to talk about this. Yeah. No, good. You're talking about.
And then they emerge from the water naked.
Yeah.
Basically. And then have
you
clothes.
Got a little something for her.
She's wearing underwear.
She's wearing the tiniest little underwear.
Yes.
And my question was, why not put on Universal costumes at that point? At that point, they should have been
put
wearing
on the Blues Brothers costumes.
Yeah, like I feel like they should have been. This movie was so. The only thing we could find. He's in a Doc Brown costume. She's in one of the Blues Brothers.
Oh, these sharks are falling out of the sky, Marty.
Guys, you know how old Nova is? You know what year Nova was born?
Tell me.
Don't want to take a guess.
Depress
what year?
me.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let me think. What year was I born? And
just take a year.
Like
because of her youth, you mean?
2000.
I'm gonna let you guys guess how old she might be.
2000.
Okay.
91.
90.
Yeah, man.
She's a youngie.
Yeah.
How old is the daughter? The daughter seems too old to be
By the way,
daughter.
the daughter, they make 2 lines of dialogue about the fact that she changed the color of her hair.
Yeah, did we? I
we
didn't even
can
remember.
figure that out ourselves.
I didn't even remember her from the second movie.
Who cared? Like 2 people go, "Oh, you changed the color of your hair." Yeah, we get that these are a year apart,
and some of
people
those
do shit to their hair.
Some of those people are strangers. Some of those people are strangers to her who have just like seen her on TV.
Yeah, as the daughter of a famous person.
You know what?
What?
They replaced the daughter. That's why they made a big deal out of it. Not the same daughter.
Not without my daughter.
Yes, that's why they had to make a big deal out of it. Not the same daughter.
Isn't there a better way for that joke if you're doing a nod to the fact that you replaced?
Those are the things that I feel like they miss out on. Like you know,
there's
that in a big way.
Yeah, there's some sort of like Becky on Roseanne kind of reference or something. You know?
I liked her.
Why
actually.
don't you have it be played by Becky from Roseanne?
Yeah, exactly.
I liked her, but then she had that little boyfriend who followed her everywhere.
Okay, so let's talk about the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because they make a big deal about this. She likes this boy she meets in line at the roller coaster.
Yeah. And then that one rapey guy, the rapey.
Weird rapey guy starts immediately macking on the friend. And then they both die. And then they're just together, and he is brought along. He has no family, I guess.
No,
he never wants to check in with his family. He's
just stoked to hang with her.
He's along for the ride.
Shoot machine guns off the roof at sharks.
Yeah.
And at one point,
everyone is amazing at shooting guns and high-powered guns very quickly.
Well, just like the first movie, everybody is instantly capable of doing anything.
Yeah.
Flying planes, shooting guns, everything that is just doable.
Yeah. At one point, someone sees the new daughter and this boyfriend and Tara Reid, and someone comments to them that, wow, you're really lucky. You guys are a great family. And he just nods along. Like he's part of the family now. It's been 20 minutes. He's part of the family.
Now it's weird because it's incest when they hook up, and God punished him with the ultimate punishment.
That's
death.
true. That's true.
Death by shark.
By the way, we're talking about ages.
Yeah.
Ian Ziering. How old, do you want to guess how much older his father, played by David Hasselhoff,
I
is?
feel like it's maybe like 10 years, right? Is it about that?
12 years.
Oh, wow.
So technically possible. Hasselhoff could have gotten some semen out of those things.
I believe it. I believe Hasselhoff
gosh.
was capable of fathering a child at 12.
12, yeah.
Oh, wait a second, guys.
What's that?
Ian Ziering, or Ian
Ziering,
is in La Valantula.
Yes.
Playing Ian.
What? Not his thing?
Yeah.
This is blowing up the whole shared universe concept.
Yeah, I think they don't understand what shared universe is.
Or you know what it might be?
What?
Is there like nods to, this is shared universe, but they don't have rights.
Oh, right, because it's two different places.
It's two different production companies or something.
Right, so he's just saying I have a shark issue, but he's not being...
But he's technically, they can't credit him as Finn Shepard. Although, why not be like, Michael Keaton in Out of Sight and Jackie Brown? These studios do each other a solid.
Yep.
Can we talk about the son? Because the son from number 2 is not in this.
He's in the service.
He's away on his tour of Afghanistan or something.
Yep.
I have a theory he's back and forth Nova style, and he's going to be grown up, and he's going to be like a famous actor,
great.
and he's going to like do some big, dramatic entrance.
Is this you? Are you saying that you're going to...
I'd like it for it to be me. I'm the 45-year-old son of Ian Ziering, who's 50.
How did this get made, fans? Let's get Scott Aukerman cast as Finn Shepard's son.
Put us in Cameo. We don't even have to write it. Like, put us in Cameo. This is ridiculous.
If they can write in April Lives or Dies, we can write in Scott Aukerman for the role of Von Brody? No, is that his name? Finn, I don't know.
No, it's not, because Finn's last name isn't Brody. Isn't that Mark McGrath?
Oh, yeah, it's Mark McGrath.
Yeah. Who is barely in this, by the way.
Which is a real bummer. I really missed him in this.
By the way,
I liked his vibe in the second one.
His very first line, they're at the White House, and Finn just accepted the Presidential Medal of Honor, is, "How you doing, man?"
Yeah.
Mark McGrath to the end.
No one really came out to support Finn. That seemed like his family or friends.
What is that all about?
Nobody
or is it just
supports
old
him.
hat to him?
Nobody. Well, that's the thing. He is wildly unsupported.
Yeah.
His father treats him like he's
he's a dipshit.
like he's an idiot.
Yes.
And I'm like, on what planet? Like, he has saved
the only one doing the work.
Yeah.
Bo Derek treats him like a 0, and she's a 10.
Oh,
nice.
Oh boy.
That's a reference for all of you kids out there about Bo Derek's movie called The 10. Now,
I wonder how many
remember,
people
no
out
one
there...
even knows who Bo Derek is.
I was going to say,
anymore.
have no idea who Bo Derek is. Like, the sexiest woman from our childhood.
Well, I mean, that, it's a lesson to, people out there going, ooh, I got the most beautiful bride. I got, just look at Bo Derek.
Wait.
Like, it's got to be about what's on the inside, because it happens to us all.
2 questions about the logic of this movie.
Sure.
Sharks,
only 2.
Only 2. Sharks, at certain points, when they're whipped up by the tornado, Sharknado, or Sharkcane, can crash through a building and literally destroy it.
Yeah, because that happens to the Washington Monument.
Exactly.
Yep.
Other times, they can just knock people off, like hit them on the head and knock them down. So, I don't understand what's happening
The
here.
physics of it?
Yes.
Right.
They also are able to fall through the White House with enough force to penetrate the bunker underneath the White House, like the safest bunker.
But they also can fall on the ground and not explode.
Yes, and
because
flop
if they're
around.
hurtling with that much force, they should be then making deep impressions
Critical
in the ground.
shark velocity is something that scientists are studying.
Did anyone also understand or care to explain to me
how sharks could live in space?
Well, I buy that.
Well, there is one line in there that they say, how can they survive in space? And then Ian Ziering says, how can they survive a tornado? Like, you can't just say
a question with a question.
A question with neither makes sense.
Yep. Talk to me about the mascara that's
okay. This is the one part of the movie I do not understand.
I don't either.
This is the one part that I was like, okay, this reminds me of the first two.
Yes,
where there are lines of dialogue that I rewound it. I transcribed it.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my wife about it. I said, what are they trying to say? She tried to explain it, but when neither of us really had an answer. But here's what happens.
We get it. You're married.
Sorry, ladies.
Wow.
To a beautiful, lovely lady.
Gotta get it out there.
So listen to Who Charted.
Nova has a gun.
Yes.
She's out of bullets.
A gun that is outfitted also with like a machete on the end of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Something
like that. She's out of bullets, and there's a guy she's trying to save,
like a military guy.
And she goes, and he's been partly eaten by a shark. But she goes, "How are you?" He goes, "I'm okay, but don't wait for me. There's no hope for me."
Yes.
Wait a minute, are you okay, or is there no hope for you?
Yeah.
Okay, but then she tries to shoot her gun at an oncoming shark.
Yeah.
She's out of bullets. He then sees wrapped around, almost like Chewie with the artillery, around it.
Like a bandolier.
Bandolier. She sees he has mascara, like little packets of mascara. It says mascara on it.
Right, but isn't it on her?
It's on her, yeah. Like on her bandolier.
Yeah.
Okay, it says mascara.
Yeah.
He says, don't put on makeup. She says, trust me, they're real.
I'm looking at it right here, yes.
Okay, which is a joke about her boobs because she's leaning over and her boobs are hanging out, but she's referring to her mascara.
Yes.
She puts the mascara in the gun and then shoots the shark.
Correct, and that works.
Uh-oh, guys.
What does that mean?
I just figured it out.
Okay.
This is very important here. I did a little Googling as we were talking.
Okay, that's kind of rude, but go ahead.
And so, I don't know if you remember this. I fell victim to this. But in the middle of the movie, Tara Reid is doing a commercial for Benefit Cosmetics.
What?
Yes. In the middle of the movie, it cuts to like a Home Shopping Network show. Okay. And a shark comes in and they kill it with some beauty products. So you just said, trust me.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, you may have not fallen victim to it. It's like when they used to do those shitty things during Mad Men. Where
the Podbusters.
Yeah, the Podbusters.
Okay.
So they did a Podbuster.
Oh, yes. I must have fast forwarded through it.
Yes, so they did a Podbuster with Tara Reid.
Okay.
So
she's doing Podbuster? She barely wants to be in this thing.
What's a Podbuster?
It's the little, we do them on our show too. It's like a little 30-second thing.
Oh, it's an ad with you in it.
It's not even an ad, but it's designed to make you stop fast forwarding.
Right. Yes.
In order to look at the ads that are around it. They do it on $1 Million Listing where it's just like a 30 to 60 second little scene.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So
I know what it is. They do it on Dual Survival.
Okay.
It's called Tips for Survival or something.
Right.
Anyway,
they do them on Portlandia.
Every popular show has a Podbuster.
But they do it on Dual Survival.
So you just said they're real. I Google right here to see a GIF or GIF, however you want to pronounce it. I don't care. And I looked at her bandolier.
Right.
And on her bandolier, all the bullets say they're real. Type in "they're real" mascara. It is a product called They're Real Mascara. It is a silver mascara that she was wearing in her bandolier. It's about lengthening. It's a...
is this a real product or a fake product?
So it's product placement.
They're Real lengthens, curls, volumizes, lifts, and separates.
But why would she have them in a bandolier?
In a gun. Is she shooting
Is she
them?
using them as bullets previous to this?
I think she was probably doing her makeup in addition to killing sharks.
But wait, she carries her makeup around on a bandolier? This doesn't add up.
So the bandolier is full of these things because, yes. I just saw the clip of it. It's That's
right.
that.
Well, all right.
And by the way, if you look at HollywoodLife.com, there is Tara Reid and her Podbuster right there.
Oh, wow.
With the Benefit They're Real mascara.
I pray she got paid more to do that.
Yeah, so that is it.
But
It's not even in the shape of a bullet, but basically it's just It's their real mascara.
Okay.
That's depressing.
That is
but
to
at
the
least
level
it
of the first two of something that we don't understand.
But it was just product placement because we didn't even. But by the way, bad product placement because we didn't even understand.
Because we didn't know that it was a product. And and I have to say, like, you know, it's not to the level of is that Tara Reid's arm that was in the shark at the end of Sharknado 2 level of what the fuck is happening here. But that was the one part that I was like, I truly do not understand what's happening.
If I'm showing them the beautiful little picture.
Okay, we're watching this part of it. She's putting the mascara into the gun.
That would cause the gun to backfire and kill her.
Yeah, wait a second. I don't think you're right. What if the cool thing about this mascara is there's gunpowder in it?
Okay, now I'm listening.
How did it clear the board if they're real? Like, you're not, you know what I mean?
You're
like
going to be
put into a
self-defense
gun
mechanism for women because women will walk home at night and a creepy guy will be there.
What happens if someone goes into a school and shoots up, a bunch of kids with this mascara?
Somebody's going to really hurt themselves loading mascara into a gun and trying to shoot it.
This is
Don't
irresponsible.
Ask, don't tell. All right. They go to the moon.
Guys,
Sharks.
They don't go to the moon.
Space.
How does Hasselhoff end up on the moon?
Yeah.
He flies there in his little jetpack. He has
Is that it? He has a little jetpack?
He flies around.
But it seems to me like I'm wondering about the physics of it for real. Like if you flew towards the moon, at a certain point you would just start to fall to the moon?
I'm assuming the moon must have some sort of gravitational pull. So at a certain point, once you enter its orbit,
wouldn't you start to burn
in.
up from?
I would assume.
Well, does it have that? I don't think it has the ozone.
Oh, because the moon is dead.
Right. Wait. Why are we even? Who cares?
But he has.
We got to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on the phone. Joining us now. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson to answer all of our Sharknado and space questions.
If anyone
He's
has
the
a
host of
connection to
Cosmos,
him.
not Nova.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Also, the level of gas. You only have enough gas to get me or go back to Earth.
Yeah.
One seemed like 5 feet, and the other one
They
seemed
call
like...
it fuel.
Also, it doesn't matter because the shuttle blows up.
The shuttle blows up
Yes.
anyway, and they just fall to Earth.
And then they just fall to Earth in the.
I wanted Sandra Bullock to make a cameo on that beach.
I thought,
so
yeah.
bad.
I
That
thought
would
it
have
was
been
gonna
the
be
best
That would have
cameo.
been the greatest.
Just boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
There's Sandra Bullock also getting it.
And
Before they
Tom
go-
Hanks is there from Castaway.
Before they go to space, did
With
you
Wilson.
notice someone wrote a song called "I'm a Badass, How Do You Do"?
No.
There's a song when they're all suiting up. It's like, I'm a badass. How do you do? Which is not a badass thing to say, by the way. To formally introduce
very
yourself
polite.
and tip your hat. How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm a badass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but they go to space. David Hasselhoff is Ian's dad, who never believed in him. And
he owns a diner.
He owns a there was a diner that was there, I guess, at Cape Canaveral,
right?
That some corporation bought, and he bought it
shuttle,
back.
By the way, go ahead.
He bought it back in order to turn it back into the diner that he wanted to eat at.
But because it was turned into like a Chuck E. Cheese, right?
So, yeah, but they all know Lance. No, not Lance Armstrong. Who am I trying to say? Who went to
Buzz
the moon?
Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
And I was like, how did Buzz Aldrin say no to this movie?
Yeah, like out of everything he's done, that shitty Funny or Die video,
the rapping Funny or Die.
Wait, what is? But let me ask you this, because they basically are like, well, we know there's a secret space shuttle.
Right.
And he's like, oh, come on. They know.
I can't tell you.
Ian Ziering and Nova know about everything.
They know about it. And then he goes, well, maybe if you call your buddy the president. And Ian Ziering says, well, I can try. And before he even does, David Hasselhoff calls up and goes, we're going to need to fly that shuttle.
Yeah.
And by the way, what was it? I didn't even, I literally watched and was paying attention to the last 20 minutes, and nothing made sense to me. I was like, what is different about this space shuttle than anything else?
Well, they were trying to drop bombs from a higher altitude into the huge Sharknado, I presume, so they had to do it from space.
And then it doesn't matter, by the way, because what works is Star Wars.
Well, what the problem?
And Star Wars is already there.
The problem is they succeed. It actually does work, but what happens is the sharks then start being shot into space.
Yes,
and start.
They've come out of the atmosphere.
They've come out, and they're now in. They're space sharks, so they need Star Wars in order to shoot a laser down. I don't know.
Come on.
I feel like they didn't need to go to space. They could have used Star Wars from space to shoot that giant laser. They shoot a giant laser from space onto Earth and like bisect all of Florida.
And people are just watching.
And people are watching it
from the sidelines going, wow, cool.
The amount of civilian casualties from that laser alone.
It'd be bigger than Man of Steel.
I was just going to say it was bigger than Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I heard that Batman
Where
v
are
Superman.
you, Anthony C. Ferrante?
Batman v Superman v Sharknado.
Hey, that's something I would watch.
By the way, he is not a hero. Finn Shepard, this is the interesting thing about him. He's going to be like Ghostbusters 2, where they blame
him
Ghostbusters.
for all this.
Yeah.
I think that's coming. I think there's something.
Where does it go? Where does Sharknado 4 go? Like, we're all
They've already
writers.
been
Where
to
does
space.
it go?
Do they try to
Time
rescue
travel?
David Hasselhoff, who, by the way,
time
sees
travel.
Time travel.
They have to. Let us write
Let us write
movie.
this time-traveling
travel would
Sharknado
be
movie.
Amazing.
Like time.
When you get caught in the Sharknado, you travel through time.
She's dead. All the fans vote her out. He travels back to save her.
Done.
I love that. To the first movie, like Back to the Future 2?
Yes. God, we could write this. We are.
That would be fun.
We wrote Rocky versus Rambo in a weekend. We can do this in a day.
By the way,
you need it tomorrow? Done.
Are you gonna? I was gonna ask you this question off air, but I'll ask it on there.
Sure.
Will you read Rocky versus Rambo on air one time? Would that be a fun thing to do?
I want to do a charity for Harris's charity.
Okay.
I want to do a reading of it, like in public, that we could record.
Yeah,
or
that would be
something.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Sharknado 4, time traveling back through the first 3 movies.
There you go.
Would be fun.
I will also
and
say
saving
this.
his reputation, saving his wife.
Yes.
And I guess doing something with Nova. I don't know.
also will
Stopping
say
that deal in the beginning of the first movie. Who were those people?
that my belief is that Sharknado 4 needs to introduce the true villain
Yes,
of the movie.
who's behind, who's pulling the
behind
strings.
it all.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Mr.
Malkovich.
Shark and Ado.
I'm talking Malkovich. I'm talking
Is it
Gary
God?
Sinise.
Is it God though? Are they playing God?
Or it's
Because
just,
the act's
or it's like a
God.
very intelligent shark.
Yeah. Oh,
What
a
if it's like
giant
a shark in a suit?
Yes.
It's a shark
Stroking-
stroking
stroking a
man.
dolphin.
Stroking a naked man.
A bald, hairless man. Would you shave your head and beard for that role?
No.
Wait, Jason. Think of the idea.
Do I get to write it?
Yes.
Okay, and I get to be in it as
Yes.
the pet of the shark villain? Okay, yes, I'll do it.
Okay.
All right,
that is a verbal contract.
If you're wondering if Tara Reid gives birth to her child in the stomach of a shark,
Yes.
she does.
She does.
By the way, question about that.
Yep, and yes.
The baby. First, like they get out of the shark, which is a vehicle.
Okay, here's what happens.
Yeah.
All the sharks fall on the ground. Ein Ziering prizes
From space.
and
From
it's
space.
and it's
And they're
burned up
charred.
and it's charred from the burning
which
in
is
the
delicious.
atmosphere.
I'm a big barbecue fan, so I looked.
Oh, that
really
looked
good.
yummy.
Yeah, really good.
So he comes out of the one that he's in. He thought maybe Tara Reid was in the one that he was in, but she's not. So he finally finds one that falls to the ground, and he goes up to it, and he hears her chainsaw.
Yes.
Her chainsaw hand.
I'm sorry. She has a chainsaw, in her
hand.
robot hand.
Which
Don't
again,
forget, Tara Reid has a bionic hand in this movie that has a chainsaw.
By the
Something
way,
that we didn't even bring up.
Yep.
Yes.
It's
couldn't bring
just
it up.
one of the many things.
Guys, I know I bring it up every time we talk about this, but I was in a movie where Ving Rhames had shotgun legs. Anyway, so
who are you to talk?
I'm used to the kind of the creative conventions of these films.
Sure. But so this shark falls to the ground. The chainsaw starts happening. You think Tara Reid is going to come out of the shark?
Yes.
A little tiny baby, newborn
baby doll.
baby
A baby
doll,
doll.
with no umbilical cord.
None.
She's cut it off with her chainsaw hand.
Yes, and the baby seems to peer out. Like Tara Reid doesn't like put her hand through, crack open a hole.
The baby's
and then shove the
hand appears first as
Right.
if it's opening the hole in the shark's body.
Yes.
Right.
The baby should be like next level dead.
Yeah.
The
Like
baby
reincarnated already.
The baby should have died
These humans shouldn't be alive.
10,000 times
Yeah.
in
Right.
the course of this movie.
The heat inside the shark alone would have cooked the baby.
The baby should not have been in space.
No.
She is pregnant with a child
That's old
in
school
space.
thinking. That's like that's a little like old school. Like
You think?
That's very Jessica Alba honest company kind of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, like cool
But
parent.
I gotta say, I laughed. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
a great beat.
It's a great beat. And then Tara Reid comes out, and it's all safe.
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's a boy.
It's a boy. Who's going to play that boy?
By the way, let's fast forward. Put gray hair on Ian Ziering.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now we have in the future.
Now we have a movie.
Let's hand this off just like they successfully did in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
To
where
Shia
they
LaBeouf.
introduced Shia LaBeouf as the next character to take over that franchise.
Man, and it's been so good. His movies, who's your favorite Indiana Jones? I think it's Shia LaBeouf.
I think
Definitely
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, so obviously we had an opinion
Hashtag
about
my Indy. Shia is my Indy.
Yeah.
we obviously had an opinion about this movie, but there are other people out there that had a different opinion. Not many. It is now time for Second Opinions. We decided to do something a little bit different this time because there wasn't enough time to get second opinions from this film. There's not enough reviews up of this film yet. So we went back to look at Sharknado 1 and 2, and these are 5-star reviews from Sharknado 1 and 2, and these are amazing. Okay, Sharknado 2, 5-star reviews. I'm going to read a bunch of them because they're pretty great. Granddaughter loved it, 5 stars. All I can say is my daughter liked it, 5 stars. My granddaughter loves it,
What?
5 stars. Classic, my grandkids love it,
What is
5
this grandkids
stars.
thing? There's a common thread here. I'm
All
noticing.
these grandsons. And then this one by Beckett Franklin, I keep a couple around for teen gifts, 5 stars.
I keep a couple
gifts.
around for teen. Oh, gifts, not gifts.
Not gifts. So then those are some of the 5-star
I love
reviews.
teen
I'm
gifts.
making teen gifts out of these
I
films.
keep a couple around for teen gifts.
This is
also amateur gifts.
this is another
MILF gifts.
Although Teen
MILF
Gift, that's
gifts.
not a bad movie.
Guys, that's
right
why
there. Like
that's
Teen
why
Wolf?
that's why Jared Fogle got put away for
Teen
MILF
gifts, yeah.
Teen gifts. Okay, so
Preteen gifts.
Allegedly.
he's not put away.
What was the
Allegedly.
file called on the computer? Like good stuff.
Oh, really? Has that been put out? Oh, I didn't hear that.
June has a
good
file.
stuff.
June has a file on her computer that says "Don't look in here." Literally called "Don't look in here."
Have you ever looked?
No. Oh wait.
Who's it for? Is it for you or is it for
No,
Eddie?
sorry. It's not do not look in here. It's called "Not Important Stuff."
And it's like all the most important stuff. Yeah.
Not important stuff.
Definitely not passwords.
Okay, this is another one, a 5-star review.
What's the better way of hiding stuff? Like, shouldn't it be something
Taxes.
like not even like just like some sort of program run thing?
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like Adobe, Adobe
File,
X,
fonts,
file,
yeah.
exactly.
This is from Sam Groff, who wrote, "I just love it. I just love it. It's better than the first, and Tara Reid is simply beautiful."
Oh,
Simply
is
beautiful.
I'll go with him on simple.
This one is from the great one. Who doesn't like shark things other than the ones being eaten?
Whoa.
5 stars. This is
Some good deaths in this.
some very good ones.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one from Hagar Dawn.
Hagar the Horrible?
Hagar the Horrible. He has a lot of opinions, especially about his wife. He goes, I hate sharks, 5 stars.
Whoa, he loves this movie because they kill sharks?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did find one 5-star review, I'm calling it a 5-star review, from Rotten Tomatoes of Sharknado 3. And this one is pretty great. It's, the Sharknado universe is expanding exponentially like the Mad Max world. 5 stars.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute. How is the Mad Max world expanding?
I don't think the Mad
They
Max
just made
world
another one.
Yeah, just another movie.
And then at the end of the movie, when they fall to the ground, they like salute the moon.
They salute the moon
Yeah.
in the moon, and Hasselhoff on the moon salutes back.
Yeah.
Guys, we have Sharknado bobbleheads here, and if you come out to our San Diego show, we're going to give you some because we have way too many.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sci-Fi Network, for showing faith in this quartet that's right now a trio.
You know what? Thank you, Sci-Fi Network, for supporting the Americans.
Yes.
The allies.
Yes.
And no thank you to the producers of this movie who are supporting
Ferrante.
the Axis powers.
Let me tell you about
the Germans, our enemies.
The Die Schutzen Film Atta Zion, the worst films of all times.
No!
And their thing only started in 2013. Oliver Kalkoff
dare
and
they?
Peter Rutten. Oh my gosh!
I'm sure they're great guys.
We
Let me
should,
tell
we
you
should
about
have
these
like
producers.
a softball game against them.
Against the Germans?
Yeah, soft and balling.
We should have it. All the bad movie podcasts should play softball against each other.
By the way, just to talk to you a little bit about well, I'm not gonna get into the behind the scenes, but if you want to
Behind the scenes of what?
This movie, some shady stuff went on.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, they tried to fire their entire crew because they wanted to go union. And they did.
They fired the crew?
Yes.
And so they're not union?
They're not union.
Wow.
And so
Not great.
not great.
Not great.
And I guess the asylum people just basically said, hey,
Allegedly.
no, this is a statement that
Oh,
they
it's a
released.
quote? Okay.
That they said they finally reached an agreement, and they said we'll be increasing the amount of chum at craft service and no longer require our employees to sleep without moving. That was their fun way of
saying they're not going to go union.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? I think it's a brave, risky choice, and I stand behind it because I want to write number 4.
Yeah.
As long as they're WGA, I don't give a shit.
All right, guys. What a great
Can I ask you a
experience. Yes.
question? Do we do this for Sharknado 4?
I genuinely don't know.
I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Should we
because
tell the audience to vote right now?
Let's vote. Yeah. Tweet the hashtag. What were the hashtags for April?
April lives, April dies.
Okay, so Sharknado HD TGM. Sharknado yes or Sharknado
How about
no?
this? How about this? You just use our Twitter account, which is HDTGM.
How did this get made?
Yes. And just say you should hashtag Sharknado yes, Sharknado no. That would be simple.
Sharknado yes, Sharknado no.
4, yes. Sharknado 4,
Well, I think,
no.
I think now it's getting complicated.
Yeah, just Sharknado yes,
or no?
Sharknado 4.
Okay. Yes.
Sharknado yes, Sharknado 4.
Hashtag Sharknado yes.
Who let the dogs out?
Sharknado yes.
Hey, Nong Man. Okay, hey, Nong Man.
So we will let you
Because my whole thing is like these are getting too good. Like I legitimately
No, I
enjoy
feel
them.
bad going. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
but
Also, so text or tweet HDTGM.
Text or tweet.
It's not the same. Text the show.
Text the show.
How did this get made?
Yes.
Phone line.
yes,
Which
we're
is
setting up
Call
210
1-800-Sharknado and text them.
#1 for how did this
This
get
is why
made?
this is why we are not being allowed to write the sequel. We can't even come up with a hashtag. But the fate of this series is in your hand, and don't worry. If you vote no, we'll bring Scott back for another trilogy.
I miss you guys. As much as I love coming in for the Sharknado,
First guest.
First guest.
You were the first guest.
in the pilot.
in the pilot, which
pilot episode.
which we may be releasing sooner or later.
Oh, good.
is that right?
A special treat. As a special
good.
treat to our fans.
Yeah,
More info on
that was
that.
about Old Dogs.
Yes,
Yeah.
which we
And
actually did later.
You did
on.
later without me,
Yeah.
but which is fine because I remember doing the pilot and going, ooh, I was talking too much.
I remember listening to the pilot and going, we could never do a show that's over an hour. We got to keep it as a tight
Right.
30. And we were
It was pretty long. we broke down Old Dogs in its entirety. Beat by fucking
So
beat.
look out for that. That is coming. Guys, it was a pleasure. Sharknado, yes. Sharknado,
it was
no.
an honor.
It was an honor.
It's an honor to serve.
saluting
with
you from the
I'm
moon.
saluting you all.
Can I plug that the Comedy Bang Bang Season 3 DVD is now out in stores?
What's
and,
extra on it?
Super long extras. We have tons of deleted scenes, tons of deleted interviews, commentary for every episode. We have a lot of people go, hey, how is this show filmed? How do you edit it down? We have a complete take of
lot of
Horatio
people say
Sands.
that?
Oh, that's
A
great.
lot of people say, how do you edit the show?
Yeah. Bro. So we have a complete, everything Horatio did, so you can see a complete take.
Oh, wow, that's
and see
great.
how we whittled it down to
that's
the
a cool
3
idea.
minutes or whatever.
That's
so
neat.
yeah, so
That's really cool.
Tons of stuff on it.
That's out
all
now.
of Season 3, and it's out now.
I would definitely get that. I love.
Where do you
when
go to
people-
get that?
I don't give a shit.
Amazon?
Amazon?
Sure, Amazon.
I love a good DVD like that. I feel like people don't do that anymore. I'm excited.
We
that
put
iTunes
so
have
much
extras
care
now.
into it. I'm really proud of it.
I love it. That's I love that.
And Jarls, classic Jarls, is introduced on this DVD.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
You've heard him on the CBB show. This was his first appearance
Oh,
because
I'm very excited.
we recorded classic Jarls back in December.
Oh, wow. Also, check out Wet Hot American Summer, First Day of Camp. I am in that. That's on Netflix right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or not right now. The 31st.
Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday.
Excellent.
Jason, what do you want?
I'm not plugging anything. I got nothing.
What about The Dictator?
Oh, still in The Dictator.
Yes, I believe it's on Netflix.
They haven't erased that yet?
I believe it's on Netflix. I don't think they've erased me from it.
But it is like that Marty McFly thing in Back to the Future.
I'm fading out.
Yeah, you're fading.
My character is fading out. Yes.
Unless you bring it up in a plug every single week, you will fade out.
I will fade out. I will fade out of that movie. I will. And to that end, actually, I'm glad you said that. Please watch Baby Mama. Yeah. I have almost completely faded out of Baby Mama.
You're almost out of there.
Yep. So just by mentioning it, yes, I am still in Baby
Now you're back in. Great.
A big thanks to everybody here at Earwolf, Avril Halley, who pulls all of our clips, Nate Kiley does all of our research, and all of our amazing fans, especially you guys at the Sci-Fi Network for sending us all this cool shit. And Leanna Waldron, who just is killing it all the time on our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at HDTGM. All right, thank you guys so much. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.